success story, and I approve this message.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here again. If y'all don't know who I am the success story, and today I want to do something special, something I've been waiting to do for a very, very long time, and that is interview the most interesting woman that has been a very, very intricate part of my life, my friend, my confidant, my mother. This woman here has took a lot of things and created masterpieces. And I'm not talking only with her children, but with her art, her mind, and her spirit. So I'm not going to go ahead and continue to talk about this woman. I'm going to go ahead and let this woman introduce herself. LaShon, you have the floor. I know this is not, something that you like to do, which is be on camera. So, I really do appreciate you, doing this for me.
I want a great Valentine's gift.
So tell us a little something about yourself. When were you born? You don't gotta say when you were born. I don't want nobody thinking, because, we know that you're 21, right?
Right.
No, all right, too easy. But let's know where you're from,
Born and raised in the DMV.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it?
Born in the D.C. area, grew up in D.C. in the Silver Spring area.
Silver Spring look a little different from what it used to be, right?
Stars, yes. Well, actually, no. They were always the Caucasians. They're still here. We just kind of invading.
That is great. So today we're going to be doing an interview about you, because I believe, since it's Black History, not only because it's Black History Month, because I believe that you have contributed so much in life over the last 21 years that it should be documented. So that's what I want to do. And I believe that, one, people should definitely do this with their family, and two, cherish the people that y'all love now, instead of waiting to put it in a eulogy.
I agree.
So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead. Angel, can you give me a drink, please?
So, we already talked about where you...
Yeah.
We already talked about where you were born, right?
Yes.
So, if I'm not mistaken, my grandfather raised you as a single parent, correct?
Raised me.
Raised you,
Yes,
okay.
as a single dad.
As a single dad. How was that, looking at your father doing that for so many years?
Interesting.
What was
I
so
used to
interesting
think
about it?
he was the meanest man in the world. He was like super strict. I could not do anything. Yet I had a very happy and fulfilling childhood. He made sure I took dance, cheerleading. I want to say like acting. My father used to take me on dates every Friday.
Really?
We would go out to eat. We would go out to dinner while he waited for his then girlfriend. She was a hairstylist. While we waited for her to get off work, he would take me out to eat every Friday. Yeah, it was interesting. He made sure I did well in school. Anything I wanted to do, he encouraged it. I didn't know back then what a jewel he was. He just seemed mean. But he truly was a gem, because it wasn't as popular back then, a black man raising a young black girl,
Right.
as it is now. So we definitely was the odd couple.
Yeah, I would think so. Was this like the 70s? You got this man, raising a young lady, and it's not. It wasn't normal.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? For, like you said, black male to be raising any kids, if that. So, so do you believe that played a big part in the way you parented your children in the future?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Me being raised by a man, I think, prepared me to raise definitely boys. Real boys. And I guess gentle enough, but also hard enough But he definitely gave me the necessary tools. Not all of the affection that I needed at times, but I would say he prepared me for society.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing Granddad, I know he was definitely a tough cookie.
Oh, my stars. Yes.
I see how he acted towards his employees, so I know as his daughter, and especially only child, he was very, very strict.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about being the only child. Y'all had siblings. Being the only child, something was broke in the house. I couldn't say they did it.
Granddad automatically knew.
It was me. It was me. So, yeah.
So I, you know what I mean, with that being said, I know that, you know what I mean, you were in high school. I remember we talked about that you received some kind of award from, if I'm not mistaken, Lionel Richie?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a funny story. It was after I had your brother, and I played hooky from school for several months. Not weeks, not days, several months, but I went back to school, got on track, and the competition was if you had a certain GPA, you could win an academic achievement award from who was very popular at the time, Lionel Richie, and I had accomplished that. And you know, I forget about stuff like that. I actually did. Yeah, I won an award from Lionel Richie. Got to go to the concert and meet him. I think actually they were supposed to be in a college fund or something attached to that, but I didn't follow up. I was so young. I didn't follow up, and at the time I wasn't with your grandfather, so he would have been on top of stuff like that. But yeah.
So at an early age, Grant, I think I'm assuming 16, 17 at that time. You were accomplishing great feats at that age.
You know, at the time it don't even seem like that. You're just doing what you're supposed to do. You're going to school, you're making good grades. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but for you to, like you say, you was playing hooky, and to come back into the game and just, you know what I mean, just take over the competition just like that, to meet somebody at that time was just a great star figure. Like Lionel Richie, you know what I mean?
I know. But you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's how I look at it. You know, I often forget about it. I forgot about it till you just mentioned it. But yeah.
So I know that you're great with words. You used to, matter of fact, all your children write dictionaries, write words, and I mean like 20 times each, y'all. This is, I mean, we talking about SAT, college words, all the way up until I was in 12th grade. I'm writing words. But do you believe your love for words helped you become a writer, a better speaker, or made you want to do something more with, you know what I mean, ink pen and some paper?
Absolutely. One thing I hate for someone to know more than me.
Right.
I never want to enter a room and not be as knowledgeable as the next person. And the dictionary is just a beautiful thing. It opens you up to so many things. Like words are just beautiful, and you feel confident you can go into a room and you can speak to the president and not, well, you could be shaking inside, but outside tells a whole different story.
Just solid as a rock.
Just solid. And I always wanted you guys to be better because I know they were not going to teach you guys certain things in school. So I always told you had to be one up on the next person because Yale and Harvard wasn't coming to you guys' school. You had to stand out and stand above the competition. So words, I don't know, words always just led me to a different place. I could be whoever I wanted to be with words.
So with the words that you knew, and I know that you have published a book.
Yeah.
And did those words lead you to doing that? Was your imagination, you know what I mean, allowing you to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to take this a little bit further. I'm going to go ahead and now publish your work. Because I knew you was a writer before. So what had you thinking that, you know what I mean, you could publish a book?
I And I felt like people needed to hear it. Now, I'm not trying to be funny. Let's not get it twisted, but I only made 50 copies of the book. But I feel like some people needed to hear it. And all those 50 people that bought the book actually came back to me and said, oh my goodness, it's such a good book because it was just short stories. Some of them were true, some of them were fiction. But they were good stories. And I felt like people could relate and still can relate to what I have to say. I feel like I connect on different levels with different people, and for some reason they want to hear what I have to say. They want to listen. They want to they want to connect with what I have to say. And as I said, words can just lead you to different places. They're just a beautiful thing.
A very beautiful thing.
Yeah.
With that, what was the name of your book, if you don't mind me asking?
Going through hell to get to heaven.
Man, that is a very powerful statement.
Yeah, the last 4 years going through hell to get to heaven.
Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But after you wrote a book, and this is I'm not mistaken, this is around the time now that you had your 4th child.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about the 3rd. yeah.
So first, before we get into the book, you got four children, right? Was it tough raising all of them?
Oh, I think it'd be tough to raise one. Especially, just how technology is so advanced and the challenges. Like if I had to deal with some of the technology that they have now, that you guys, oh my stars, I don't know. Woo. Raising children has its challenges. Raising black male has its challenges. Thank God I haven't had to face some of the things that families are facing now. I just always wanted you guys to be better, and I wanted you to see my vision for you. I just remember when you guys were being born, I just always pictured your initials embroidered on a beautiful leather attaché. You going to work with these briefcases. I just had big dreams for you guys, and I wanted our visions to align. And for the most part, they have. We struggled.
So was it difficult raising 4 children, especially 3 males and 1 girl?
Absolutely.
And why is that?
You just said it. 3 males, 3 black males, 1 girl. I always believed as raising 3 black males, you guys had to be better than the next one. Which is why I gave you the SAT words. I don't know, sometimes they don't sound like y'all use them, but I had to give you guys, like if you were in the 7th grade, I gave you 8th grade words to give you all that confidence so that you can articulate and convey messages to anyone. And for the most part, you guys seem pretty confident when you speak to others. But I just wanted you to be better than the next person because, Harvard and Yale was not coming to you guys' school. You had to assert yourself and insert yourself in certain environments. So, I like I said, I think I was the old-fashioned mom. I was the one to make sure y'all had to have breakfast, going to school, had dinner. We all sat at the dinner table every night. I just wanted to create that family environment where we always stood up. Typical family, oh my thoughts, absolutely not. Sometimes there was fighting before sitting down at dinner, but we all sat down at dinner.
We did sit down at the dinner table.
But it was a challenge. But I wouldn't change it for people you guys that's raising children in this era. Wouldn't change it. Feel bad for you guys.
Wow. So with you raising children, you started to, actually it was probably a little bit before Angel. You started to get into the ministry.
Yeah.
And what brought you to that?
It was, a calling, but way bad had happened. My uncle was murdered in 1994, and God, my life had just changed drastically. Like so much so where my son Malik was born in '94, and I swear I don't even remember changing diapers or feeding him or anything that whole year '94. So I knew I needed to do something different, and I had to find something, and I found it in church. None of the things that I used to do was working anymore. I found it in church, and in going to church, God called me into the ministry.
Right.
And I answered.
So you get called to the ministry, and now you know what I mean you're starting to go to church and everything. And then next thing you know, and I remember that you started preaching.
Yeah.
So once again, these words are coming back, and being a writer is coming back in full circle. What led you to now know that, all right, I got something to say. I have a testimony to go ahead and give these people. Especially now mind you, it's still the 90s, and it's not very normal or popular for female preachers.
Yeah. That's the thing, I don't like for people to tell me no. And it's not an arrogant thing, it's not a boastful thing, but to tell me I can't do something when I know it's ordained by God, if I got my mind set on something, you pretty much can't stop me. And again, it's not being arrogant, it's not an arrogance thing.
No, it's just being tenacious, if anything.
Yeah, tenacity. And I knew that I was called. And it's so ironic because I went to the pastor and I told him, and man, I said it was a very good relationship. And I told him I was called, and he said, "Yeah, well, let's come back to that. I'm gonna pray on it." And that's what most people say when they don't believe something.
Right.
And but he came back the next Sunday and said, "Oh my goodness, God beat me up." He said, "God beat me up. I gotta get you onto the pulpit." Enough said. I think God called me because I'm blatant, I'm transparent, I don't hold no punches. I'm a sinner. I let you know, like for real. This is what you get. What you see is what you get. I like to wear nice clothes. I like sometimes wear a short dress. I had a glass of wine. What you see is what you get. And I spread this word as such.
Right.
So people that's struggling where I'm struggling, they're gonna be drawn to me.
Correct.
Because there's no falsehood.
Right.
And I think that's why God chose me. If you look at the people He chose in the Bible.
Yeah. You're not gonna bring a clean-cut person to the church, right?
Nope.
So I'm gonna go off a little bit right here. So I remember one day you was preaching, right? I had been like 10, 11 years old, right? And I remember the first time you said hell. And the reaction that the church seen, and that I seen in the church, it was like, oh my God, this one is cursing. And it was like, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is a hell, and to hell with, to that, you know what I mean? So it was definitely something different. You was definitely, just doing groundbreaking things within that church. Because not only you was a minister, but also you started the children's church there too, correct? Not children's, but the children's choir, correct?
Well, with the help of someone else, yeah.
Right.
I was the choir director. Yeah, I got called into the pastor's office for saying hell. I always got called into my principal's office, the manager's office. Everywhere I went, I was always, I don't know, I got called into the pastor's office for saying hell. And I was like, well, Pastor, hell is in the Bible, So, but, we preach about sin and how, But, yeah, I got called into the office.
You got a stern talking to, huh?
I'm always in trouble, like always.
So, we got that, right? You're a minister. Now, you took it a step higher and became...
God did.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
The good Lord took it a step higher and And I remember that time because you had to go to Hampton and to, you know.
The preachers conference.
Yeah, I remember that. And can you take us through that experience?
Again, there's nothing with me. That one was actually the pastor. He was like, I think it's time for you to be ordained. You know, there were several of us with me.
Correct.
And first he wasn't going to put me with that group. And somebody came to him and said, no, it's her time as well. And he put me with that group. And again, there were people in the church that said I couldn't do it. And if I did do it, they going to leave.
Right.
And they actually did leave.
Oh, my.
Yeah. But I did it. And I was the pastor that was ordaining us. He said I was one of the best ones.
Really?
Yeah. I learned. I wasn't just being ordained. I learned a lot from those classes. And I applied them. He told me, he said, yeah, people said you couldn't do it. You did it. And then he also told me, which I didn't get at the time, don't let nobody just put you behind a pulpit. I'm supposed to be out there. Yeah. So, yeah, that was an experience.
Definitely was. It definitely was an experience. I remember, you know, you had to go, I think it was for a week.
No.
Was it longer than that?
Which one, the conference?
Yeah, the conference.
The conference was a week, but the studying took several
Oh, I know you took a while to study. I remember your initial sermon and how that went, which you did very, very well in. So, after all that, right, so now you're a preacher. You part ways with the church and began to start your own church, which, mind you now, her church was at the house on 5106. And we turned the living room, bought some pulpits, and went from there. What was it called, and can you take us through that?
It's Peniel Christian Center. Peniel means the face of God. Which is, yeah, means the face of God. So I just felt it was time to go on my way. There have been some, I have been having some issues with the church for quite a while. So I felt like it was my time to go out on my own, and we sacrificed having the church in our home. You know, a few family members joined the church. The opening of the church was actually amazing. Like a lot of family members came, and you know, after the service, we had food and, you know, fellowship, and it was great. It was great.
I'm noticing something, and it's like whatever you envision, you make fruition. You know what I mean? You make it happen. You know what I mean? You have this thought, you write it down. Because I remember you did have a journal, and I never read what was in the journal. You always was writing. And I mean, you have like notebooks, upon notebooks filled with just writing. And it just shows to me, and even in all your children, I can see it in all your children, that whatever they set their mind to, and you too, it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it happens to the exact T that you want it to happen in. So, with that being said, you did a play.
Yeah.
You did a play, and mind you, you know what I mean. You're stepping in a whole different world. You know what I mean. You wrote a book. You know what I mean.
Actually, the play came before the book. The play came before the book.
Okay.
Remember, because I don't know if you were middle school or high school.
Probably middle school.
I think it was middle school. Yeah. Yeah, I did the play. That's
Okay.
something I always wanted to do. I wanted to be an actress when I was younger, which is why my father got me the acting classes and things of that nature. But yeah, I wanted to be an actress. So, you know, I wrote a play.
And you actually, you know what I mean, produced it,
Yeah.
got it going.
Produced it, directed,
Yeah.
starred in it.
So basically, she was Tyler Perry before Tyler Perry.
No, he was Tyler Perry by then. He was Tyler Perry, but yeah, produced a play. What about me? A young lady that was considering abortion, and I got good ratings on that play. I can't even tell right now because I might do it again one day and I want to steal my concept. But it was a great concept. Like even thinking to this day, right now, like wow, that was something. And a good cast of people, everyone pitched in and helped. So yeah, did a play too.
So, with you doing the play, and I'm gonna ask you this: do you believe that if you would have done it in this era, and if you still may, would it have reached the people that you wanted, further than just the DMV?
Probably. See, my problem is, I am such a private person. I don't do a lot of social media, so I don't promote myself. But with my children, they would help me more if I was to do something like that.
Right.
But I need to come out of my comfort zone a little and probably start promoting myself.
Look, I'm using one of the words you gave me. Now, I know you're loquacious, and you can definitely talk to a lot of people until they like, all right, look, Sean, I gotta go. So I know you can promote yourself. So I think personally, I think you do great, especially in the market now, the way the market is, everything social media, presenting little snippets, and then even, the technology now, it's just crazy. So now we're talking about you did the play, you wrote a book, you became a minister, became a preacher, had church at your house.
Yeah, all this is amazing.
You know what I mean? So now we take it a step further. Now you start giving back to the community.
Yeah.
I remember one instance where you took, of course, the children and a group of other people to go feed the homeless, if I'm not mistaken, by the Library of Congress.
Not far from the Library of Congress. It was a little further downtown. I think that was Christmas. No, was that Christmas?
I don't think so.
Okay. No, yeah, I know when you talk about it. But we did go one Christmas too. I couldn't go out. I was sick, but I cooked all the food. But I remember the time you're talking about. Yeah, we went downtown and we fed the homeless. If I'm not mistaken, that's the time we gave them $5 McDonald's gift cards.
We did.
Yeah.
$5 go a long way around that time.
Yeah. They had their dollar menu, so I was like, they can get 2 meals or they can get 1. Yeah, I had people donate money as well as myself donate money, and we gave them $5. Gosh, that was good.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely. I got to talk to some of them, and it was
I
definitely.
remember. You gave somebody some money out of your pocket.
Yeah, I did, and it was great, and it definitely, helped me, even now to this day, to be so benevolent to other folks, and I don't want to say less fortunate than me, but just down on hard times, you know what I mean? So I appreciate you in introducing that to not only myself but everybody else within the family and outside the family, because you never know when other people are going through, even if they don't tell you. So you done that, right? We on this high plateau. You doing great. You're doing good. We're gonna fast forward. I done left the house. It's only Angel and Malik.
Yeah.
So we going through that, going through some times, and then 2015 happened.
Yeah.
Now I know this is a significant year for you. Do you want to run us by that year? I move out the house. I go to the Army. Just you, Angel, your dad, and Malik. And I'm just gonna fast forward. So now it's 2015. Would you like to walk us through the year 2015? I know people is like, man, it's just you 2015. It's not 2020, 2021. But please explain to them what you went through 2015 and also the family.
2015 was like the worst year of my life, which is funny because I was really on the come up. Had a nice job, was living in a nice place. Angel was going into high school. passed, and then like a week or two later, she died. And she hit my mom really hard because that was her last family member in her immediate family. So she took it really hard. Had to be there for my mom. Then the next month, my cousin died from cancer. He was like my brother. He died. Then I had surgery on my foot. So I was out of work for a little while. And I literally got fired on my day off. I mean, literally. Medical leave. I got fired while I was on medical leave. And then, while I was out on medical leave, you know, I was like, I knew I had a case. So I didn't really, I had some savings. I knew what they did to me was wrong, so I didn't even really sweat that. So meanwhile, getting Angel ready for high school. I just remember one particular night. This is the first time I let her go to a high school football game alone. You know, I was really overprotective of y'all. So I let her go to this football game. It was literally probably a mile up the road from where we lived. Malik had called me the night before. It's like, Mom, I need keys to get into the house. I need to get something out the house. And I remember asking him, do I want to know what you're getting out the house? He said, no, I just need the keys. Cool. At this point, I know what questions to ask y'all and what I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'll come past tomorrow to get the keys. Okay, cool. I got to take Andrew to this game. After that, before that, let me know. And I took Angel, I dropped her off at the game. And I came back in the house and I'm waiting for her phone call to let me know when she wants to be picked up. And meanwhile, Malik comes to the house, and I can remember we going back and forth because that's what Malik and I do. We go back and forth, and he's like, you got some food? And I was like, sure, get something out of here. I had this, I'll never forget, I had this spaghetti. I'm like, eat the spaghetti. He's like, I feel like you're trying to get rid of the spaghetti. And I'm like, I am. But he made a sandwich. And he's getting ready to leave. And he said, I love you. I said, I love you. And I'm like, be careful. And I hate saying those words now. I was like, be careful. And he's like, well, I got my car back. No license. He was in an accident though. So I was like, oh, it looks nice. And we said bye. And later, Angel called me. He's like, Mom, come get me. It's a fight. And she sounds so panicked. So I'm worried, and I rush up to the school, and it's just pandemonium. Like kids jumping over fences. It's like just going crazy. Police trying to catch people. And I get up to the school, and I find her, and I'm sitting in the car. I'm like, well, who are they? And she's like, those are my friends. They went for their parents. And I'm like, look, I can't leave them out here. Tell them to get in the car. We'll wait. They can wait in the car till their parents get here. And I'm waiting for their parents, so they eventually come. And I take Angel, we go home, we lock up, and I hate watching the news. I watch the news, and I'm like, I wanted to see if the fight was gonna make the news, because I mean it was just crazy up at the school. And I see this car on fire. I said, I'm tired of seeing this stuff. So I turn, and we go to bed, and I just hear this banging on the door. I'm like, who the hell is knocking on the door at midnight? I'm about to call the police. We go to bed, but the next morning I say, okay, we going to church. I hadn't been to church in a while. We going to church, and I see this card under my door, and it said, homicide detective. So we go out, get ready for church. I literally go across the street from my house. I was like, Angel, I can't drive no further. I have to see what this is about before we go any further. And I called this detective, and he's asking me all these questions. I was like, look, we got to stop this. Meet me at my house. I can't do this. I can't. You ask me questions, and you ask about cars. I know DC is not that backed up that a homicide detective is calling me about a stolen car. I'm not retarded. Meet me at the house. long story short, he meets me at the house, and again, he starts all these questions. Meanwhile, I've called my dad, and I've called Tony, and they all meet us at the house, and again, he starts with these questions, these questions, and I was like, look, tell me why you're here, and my attorney is there with your grandfather, and I said, you don't tell me why you're here, start on to the attorney. And he says, did you see, or hear about the car, that was on fire last night? And again, like, I don't really watch the news, so it just really passed my mind, and I was like, no. He said, but there was a car that was on fire last night, and the car was registered to Malik. And I said, are you trying to tell me that my son was murdered? He said, the car was registered to Malik. What do you need me to do? You know, I know you hear about people breaking down and falling out. I immediately go into parent mode. What do you need me to do? I don't have time to cry or fall out or scream. What do you want me to do? So I have to go to this place first, and then we have to see something, but I'll come back with a swab to wipe your mouth to see so I can take your DNA and we'll turn it in, see if it matches. I did something so weird after he left. I don't even know what it was about. When he left, I took the trash out. But I didn't just take trash out. I went walking because everybody was still in the house and I didn't want to be in the house with them. And so I just started walking out, and somehow your grandfather found me. And I just fell into my father's arms. I haven't been in my father's arms since I was a little girl. And I was like, somebody killed my son. And my father, being optimistic. Sean, we don't know that. No, Malik. If Malik knew something was going on, Malik would have called me 50 times by now. Even if he was on the run. If Malik had done it, he would call me 50 times. So I go back in the house. And we're trying to strategize how to do this. Because next thing we knew, we had to call you. I knew I had to call you. No one else to me. I had to call you. And me and Tony went to the store. And Tony got me in the car. He said, Mom, what do you think? I didn't have to think about it. I knew it was Malik. I couldn't get him on the phone. And like I said, Malik would have called me and called me and called me. From that moment, my life changed forever. Forever. My life was changed. I had to wait 17 days. 17 days to learn that it was my son in that car. And I was so offended. Before the detective left my house that day, I told him, because they kept saying a body in the car, a body in the car. And I told the detective, his name is Malik. And before the end of the week, you're going to know his name and you're going to know my name. I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. But it's like you were saying earlier in the interview, words, powerful. I had no idea. By the end of that week, though, I had the attention of the council members, and I was on 3 stations.
Mm-hmm.
They knew Malik's name. They knew his name. I didn't not want my son to just be a statistic.
And I definitely remember that. That was definitely a very trying, very trying. That was just crazy. It was a crazy moment. And I mean, I know it was definitely crazy for you because that's your child. That was your, you know, I mean, that is your baby son, your baby boy. And we know how Malik is, you know, entrepreneur, very outgoing. You know what I mean? The boy was sharp with the tongue and would tell you off in a minute. So 2015 wasn't done with you yet.
No.
So continue to walk us through the remaining of 2015.
So, after confirming that it was Malik that was in the car and going through the memorial service for Malik and taking care of that, shortly afterwards, my mother falls ill. I think it was like Halloween. She went into the hospital. I'm not even sure what. Nobody really actually said what the cause was. Nobody said what her diagnosis was. She went into the hospital, and I was there every day, all day, every day, all day. And a friend of mine offered me a free trip to go to Nashville. Where did I go? I think it was Nashville. And you know, because it was happening to Malik, it was a free trip actually, all expense paid. And everyone encouraged me to go because we're having with Malik, and we're having all that year. Like it's like you just need a break, and I can't leave my mother. She's in the hospital. I mean, she was mobile, up speaking, and everything. She just was in the hospital. As I said, no one really diagnosed her. So I was like, even she was like, you need to go. And I was like, it's only for like 4 days, I think 4 or 5 days at the most. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. And the night before, I think I was about to leave, like everybody was in the hospital, like friends, family. They were coming out at once, but different times. Everyone was coming. So I was like entertaining her visitors. And I went to Nashville, called her when I landed, told her I love her, and then all of a sudden she just started coughing and she couldn't catch her breath. So we couldn't even finish our conversation. So her life partner, he would keep me abreast of what was going on with her. Sonny would keep me abreast of what was going on with her. And all of a sudden, like, the phone calls would stop. Like, nobody was telling me what was going on. And, you know, I just tried to have some fun on my trip. When time for me to come back home, like my phone was blowing up, like my father was blowing. My father doesn't do that. My father was calling me, Tony was calling me. I was like, what is going on? I'm about to get on a plane. They know I'm about to get on a plane. You can't have your phone on a plane. And as soon as I got off the plane, Tony was there to pick me up. First thing he said is, your mother's on life support. Do you want to go to the hospital or you want to go home? Of course, they had to go to the hospital. This isn't a question. I have to go to the hospital. Mind you, this is not even 2 months after Malik. So we go to the hospital. She's in ICU. She's not even in the room anymore. She's in ICU. All these machines. She can't talk to me. Stayed till closing. I'm exhausted because I just got off the plane, but she can't talk to me. I can just be there. That's all I can do, just be there. So eventually, I go home. I don't sleep. I never slept. Nobody knew that. I never slept. I never slept more than 3 hours a night. I'm up just thinking like, God, it's a sick joke you're playing on me. It has to be. I've preached your word. I've fed the homeless. I've encouraged people. This has to be a sick joke. So for maybe like a week and a half, every day, all day, I went back and forth to the hospital until her doctor sent me in a room, and I think I had to have Angel there with me. She go back and forth to the hospital with me too. And it's like it's nothing else we can do. There's nothing else we can do. You're not making a decision. She's already made the decision. She don't want to be here anymore. So you need to decide what it is you want to take her off the machine. And at that point, it really sucked. Being the only child, because I had to make that decision on my own. There's only one other person's decision that would have mattered, and that was Sonny. So I talked to him and told him he had to come to the hospital because I'm going to take her off the support. So I had people coming in and out of the hospital. And, for several hours she lasted. They fixed her up, made her look nice and clean. And, I told my father was the last one there with me. And I told my mother, I said, I'm not mad. You're ready, you're tired, just go ahead. And my father said, well, I'm mad at you. I don't want you to go. And I told him, I said, we gotta leave. She's not gonna transition while I'm here. She's not gonna do it. So it's like midnight. I went home. Angel was with Al. I went home. I'm laying on the sofa downstairs, and like 1 something in the morning, the doctor calls me. Said, I'm sorry to tell you, your mother's died. And I guess I was just so calm. He's like, okay. He called back and said, are you all right? I'm okay. I'm okay. I made a few phone calls telling people. Even Shawnee's, I call her Shawnee's. She's like, how can you be so calm with everything that's happened? I don't know. Faith. I don't know. That's how my 2015 ended. I had to memorialize my mother November the 12th, 2015. That's how it ended.
After the whole 2015 ordeal, how did you handle your mental health?
I got help. I went to see a therapist. Talked it out, worked it out. Was offered some meds. I received it in good faith. There's no easy way. A lot of people don't go through what I experienced, and I didn't shy away from help. I needed help. There's no easy way about it. I needed help, so I accepted it. And whatever they were offering as far as diagnosis, as far as assistance, I was open.
Right. And even now it shows that, help, you are in a great mind state, a better mind state that you was in, 6 years ago?
Yeah. It's still a daily struggle though, actually what's the day, Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
Sunday night I had a breakdown. Just certain songs I trigger. I've listened to Minnie Riperton back down memory lane.
Oh.
And I fell apart. You know, it's a love song, but I love my son. And I fell apart literally right here. Shawnee's having to talk to Shawnee's and just fell apart. So it's just little things that's triggers. But see, I'm in touch with me, and I'm not in denial. Every day is a struggle. Every day is a struggle. I have to learn I have to learn to live with my reality. The reality is this is what I struggle with. The reality is I wake up and I go to bed with, I'm not sure if my son's case is going to be solved. I struggle with that, but that's my reality. So I have to get through each day with that. It may not be justice for Malik, but each day I have to pray for justice and work towards justice for Malik. So if I can walk in reality, then the struggle isn't so hard.
Okay. That's very true. And a lot of people don't like to walk in reality. They rather go, believing. I mean, it's nothing wrong with believing, but there's just tricking yourself and, believing that the sky is green instead of blue.
I'm not even gonna fake. I remember when we were in that period where they said Malik was still considered missing. Like I said, I had surgery on my foot and I had all these great meds, like just great meds. But I had to give them to your grandfather because I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I was like, take them out of the house because, I contemplated suicide. And I'm not making excuses, but I see how people can easily turn to drugs or alcohol. It's hard to live with knowing someone stole something so precious from you.
Right.
That is very difficult to live with. I see how I didn't do it because I know the next morning I wake up, my son is still gonna be gone. That's the reality. So for me, that wasn't a way out. My reality is I gotta learn to live with it.
Right. So with that being said, what makes what makes LaShon her?
I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'm not being funny. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm learning. There are different dynamics to LaShon. Even just having this interview with you, my son, you guys are my heart. You guys make me go. Even when we're being funny or, we having our hearts to heart, you guys make me go. I'm trying to figure out LaShon now because now I don't have to parent as much. All I was a parent. The youngest is now 19, so now I get to learn. But who's LaShon? What is she like? What does she want to do? When I don't have to parent. So now it's time to explore me.
Right.
It's time to explore me. Is it too late for me to be an actress? I don't know.
Not at all.
Is it too late for me to be a famed author? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who LaShon is. I don't want to be known as the older woman whose son was stolen from her, but I do want to bring awareness.
Correct.
So I'm trying to figure that out.
So, with you trying to figure it out, out of the years that you have been on this earth, 21, if y'all don't remember, what would you say your greatest accomplishment was?
My children.
And why is that?
I'm proud of all of them. I'm very proud of you guys. Just, you took the tools that you were given, and each of you have made something out of those tools. You don't ask a lot from the universe, and you give back. And it's great. You go out, you represent yourself, you represent me, and I'm happy. I'm happy.
So, if we had to put a question on it. Who's your favorite child again?
I don't have one.
But all jokes aside, right? So, what message you would have for women, and especially women of color, that need encouragement through situations that look like situations that you've been through, or just a situation that they feel like they nobody can relate?
I would say walk in your truth, own who you are, and if you don't like it, change it. Don't let anyone tear you down. Build yourself up, because most times it's not gonna come from others. Like that reflection in the mirror. Like who you see in the mirror. And again, if you don't like it, change it. Life is about change. I think I've started over at least 5 times in life. And each time it gets better. Is it hard? Oh my stars, yes. It is so hard. And while you're in it, it's not always good. But sometimes the only way to get through it is to go through it.
Correct.
I've learned that the hard way. Don't let anyone judge you, and don't allow someone else to write your story. Be the author of your own story.
Well, Mom, I want to tell you that you have definitely changed hearts, changed minds, definitely changed the world with your mannerism, your tenacity, just the way you do things. You stay solid during the tough situations. You get what you want by working hard. You envision it, you write it down, and you make it happen. So with that being said, I appreciate you doing this interview, because I didn't think it was going to happen due to the fact that I know you do not like being on camera. I appreciate you taking time out from your day, because I know you would usually be asleep, getting rested with work. Also, I want to go ahead and thank the 2 guys that made this happen for me, because I don't have a camera, unless it's on my cell phone. Mike and Ted. If y'all don't know, Ted takes photographs around the DMV area, and he's willing to travel. And if you need some words, or you need somebody to go ahead and produce a short video, Mike and Ted is definitely the 2 people that you would like to link up with in the DMV area. They do great work. And if you don't know that, you better go check that DMV page, because guess what? They own it, and they are taking control of it right now. And right now, also, I want to go ahead and present this book. I mean, not present the book, but I want to go ahead and put a plug in for my cousin, Shawnice Stevens, right? Concrete Rose. Great book. Great book. She has sold a lot of copies. And I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. A lot of copies. I would definitely give this a good read. I will put the link down below in the description. And also, she sells candles. And I'm not just talking about any kind of candles, all right? These candles will burn for 30 hours straight and have your house smelling so good. I mean, so good that your ancestors will come down here, sit on your couch, and have a conversation with you. All right? So, with that being said, go ahead and purchase these 2 things
and
on her website.
Glass of wine, Concrete Rose, and Fancy Flames.
And amen.
Create a mood.
Hey, look, Valentine's Day.
Yep.
I promise you want to enjoy the night.
Amazon.
All right? Concrete Rose, Fancy Flames. Thank y'all for watching this interview with the beautiful LaShon Holztclaw and myself, Successtori. Y'all have a successful day. Don't forget, get up and get results. It's more than the same. It's a lifestyle. Why you mad?